What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Iccy Show. This is interview 453 interviews I've done in 3.5 years. I am waiting for CEO at 8Ball Entertainment from Boston 617 to come on here, and we're going to start this Iccy Show. Shout out to Angela Edwards from my and shout out to everyone doing something. Shout out to Colombian Dragon. We have a special 2 beats for $200. Anyone that gets on this purchase a beat from now till St. Patrick's Day will be automatically entered in a mixtape hosted by DJ Big Styles from North Carolina and myself as the other host. He's the DJ. I'll be the host of it. So give the CEO a second to get on. Hello, Bethany. How you doing, Queen? Salute, salute. How's everyone doing on this beautiful Monday? I hope everyone's staying healthy. We need to keep praying up. For real, for real. So, just give them a second to get on here. Check out this book based on true story. She will be on my Iccy Show in June. October. October 1st, she'll be starting off. The next interview after today is the 23rd, 24th, 27th, and 28th. That plus, don't forget Bible studies every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Tomorrow, Christian will be co-hosting with RJ and myself. So salute to him. So I'm just giving a second for him to come on here. Mac and cheese. Okay, that's one of my favorites. You know what's crazy? I've tried different mac and cheese, and Kraft mac and cheese, if you're like craving something real fast, that always comes out so creamy, and add a little extra cheese on it. What? Delicious. Nothing like homemade one. Here we go. Go. Hey, welcome to the Iccy Show.
What up? What up? What's going on?
Nothing much. Thank you. This is CEO of 8Ball Entertainment from Boston 617 in the building. How you doing?
Blessed, blessed. I ain't complaining about anything. A lot of stuff going on. All positives over here.
Yes. I definitely seen your updates, what you got going on, and I'm glad to have this interview so you could talk about it and let the world know what you got going on.
Right. Well, where do I start?
How about let them know how you started to get into this industry so they know a little bit about you if they don't know who you are.
Well, my name's Kevin Edward, of course, from 617 Boston, Dudley Street, Brook Ave area, Roxbury, kind of where I got my start, hanging out in Orchard Park, New Edition. My boy Jay Digi, who I've been knowing since I was a baby, Orchard Park family, Cathedral Projects, singing groups, vocal groups. Basically, I did that for my beginning years, my young years. So I got older, got into sports, did a little bit of both, more or less fell into the sports. And then when I got older, I wanted to get back into the music game. So I decided to start 8Ball Entertainment. So that's basically how it all came through.
Okay. And I know you have some great talent on your team. How many people are you managing right now?
Right now, I'm just down to 3, but more coming. I got, of course, everybody's talking about Imaya and Milani. Milani is just absolutely phenomenal. She made a track called Trader, uploaded it to Facebook, and I mean up to YouTube, and I think it got maybe like 12K in just a few days. I haven't even checked the numbers. And then Imaya, who's like one of the hottest working young ladies I've ever seen. She's 19 in college. She's doing this music thing. She just completed her first music video, actually. This past weekend. So she did the video for her track "In My Bag," which features King J out of Atlanta. Shout out to King J. So we're just waiting for the footage from him to come in, and then we're gonna get everything spliced together and do a really huge video release party for that. So that's gonna be dope.
Okay, okay. Is it
And
gonna be at location I met you at?
no, I actually, bigger and better. We got a couple. We'll
Okay.
enlighten everybody, let everybody know when that's happening. I mean, we've been doing a lot. Right now, we're getting ready for promotional tours. So far for the promotional tour, we have New York. Shout out to Cleveland. There's going to be 8Ball Entertainment out in Cleveland. We also, some stuff coming up in Florida pretty soon. Um, Shout
Okay.
out to Mr. Loco. That's 100 the label, who's going to be kind of like an underlying thing under the umbrella of 8Ball Entertainment. He is dope. He's got a video called Gas. Y'all go check that out. That's Mr. Loco. Shout out to him and shout out to Lakeland, Florida. So we got that moving. We got, like I said, New York, Cleveland, and we're doing something huge in New Orleans. At basically a Live Nation venue, and that's going to be major for us. Also, just signed a brilliant young man out of Worcester named Elion. He's
Okay.
he's he's dope. Like he did a show at the Palladium a couple of weeks ago, tore it up.
Okay.
So we got a lot of stuff happening. As of recently, we got word that we're going to be doing some soundtrack work for AMG Sony. So
Nice.
there's a documentary coming out, and it's basically about who really killed Nicole Simpson. So we have the soundtrack for that,
Oh,
and
dope.
yeah, that's going to be crazy. And of course, mystery solved. Everybody's going to want to watch that. So that was posted
Yes.
up on Facebook probably about maybe 2 weeks ago. So we got
Okay,
that
okay.
going on. I got my own band working on a project. I'm actually working on a track with Keith Murray. You remember Keith Murray, Most Beautifulest Girl, did Home Alone with R. Kelly. I got some stuff
Yes.
coming out with him, like one track to start.
Hmm.
And then there was a show that we had started. I did the TV production work on with Kango Kid, God rest his soul, before he passed, called The Guest List. So that's going to be put back into play. Um, we don't know exactly when the production for that's going to start back up. But next week, I'm going out to another city for some pre-production work for this show that's kind of like a making the band type of a situation that I'm in charge of, and it's called The Next Edition. So that's going to be crazy. So we got
Oh,
a
that's
lot of
awesome.
stuff going
I love it. I love it. You're staying busy over there for an OG for Boston 617.
on.
I
Got to
actually,
represent.
yes, yes, definitely. And I actually was going to ask you, do you plan on to do award show in the future for Boston?
Yes. Yep. hmm Yeah.
Okay.
There's a few different things that we have to do before we can make that happen. But yeah, we plan on doing something. A lot of people here, put the work in and they don't get the recognition they should get. A lot of it
Yes.
has to do with the avenues and the channels. The thing about 8Ball Entertainment and this tying with AMG Sony, it's an actual avenue and channel. It's international. And the whole thing about song placements and everything is there. Henceforth, we have this soundtrack that we're working on. So the opportunity for people to get plugged in and do song placements is totally there. But
Right.
people have to get past the specter in the background that's telling you, oh, it's not real, it's not. I keep telling people the industry is here. It's
Yes.
us. We have it. You want to get plugged into the industry, you get up with 8Ball Entertainment, make sure your paperwork and stuff is correct. If the track is fire, we'll push it through. That's what it is. And of course, I go through the whole thing about distribution. We have distribution packages. The distribution is a service. That's how the industry's running right now, is label services. We can provide that, but it's like everything else. You got to have your bag ready. We have to pay for what we have to pay for. So that's just the
Right.
name of the game. Thank God for the people that believe in us, invest in us, and allow us to do the things that we do, because we're really headed for some really heavy duty things here in the city. And
Yes.
I'm just really feeling fortunate and blessed. It's like I'm really in such a zone right now. It really doesn't. Negativity and shade don't even matter, because we're living this and we see what it is. To take Imaya up there to Platinum Studios and hear Tawana what she's doing, or Milani what she's doing, and and hear Elion what he got going on, it's great. We get nothing but positive feedback and praise from the people out there in New York for what we've been doing.
That's amazing.
We actually posted that when we took Imaya up. Like I said, she's 19, and it was like the engineer has worked with Mary J. Blige, Aretha Franklin, Mariah Carey, Lauryn Hill, Fantasia, you name it. He's worked with them. To hear him say what he said, his name's Serge, about Imaya, he was like, she's got it. She's definitely got a bright future in the game. So proud of her. And they heard Milani already. So, everything's up and up from here. We're just constantly doing things and, doing the marathon run, not the sprint, because we want to make sure everything's done correctly. That's what it is.
Definitely, definitely. I salute you 1000%, especially in this music industry. It's hard, to go to state, and people always say, Boston has the curse, and that's why I do what I do. From the last time I seen you was 2 years ago. You were like 190 something interview. I think 193. The first interview I done with you, and you had your team there, and I was amazed when I walked through those doors what you actually had there. Because people ask me, where can I go to get signed under a label? Where can I go to have a performance at? And you had everything there. And I was just amazed what you had for Boston. Boston has some great talent, and people say, curse, but that curse is long, old school. We have great talent in Boston, and that's why I push the way I do when I go to state, and I go to, now I'm international, and it feels good because I have people. I got a mixtape coming out from Jamaica and UK that I'm hosting.
That's
And
dope.
I'm putting people on for Boston, and people don't like to take that advantage. And you got a great. I suggest people start signing with you. I'm gonna send her name is Hurricana from Boston.
Yeah,
She's looking for a
I talked to Hurricana. Me and her have been in conversations actually. See,
Okay.
the whole thing with our city is this. Let's just keep it a buck. There's a stigma here, okay? And you work with people here in the city, and they have an expectation, and you have an expectation. But the way that the business is, you really have to produce, So if I'm working with somebody and I notice there's no growth or things aren't changing or the attitude isn't correct, I have to move on because I have other people that I want to work with, and I have a distribution obligation that I have to keep. My distribution deal is so many albums and it's so many years long. So I have to make sure that things are done within that term. So you tell people, hey, this ain't working out, or there's harsh feelings, so you move on from each other. So when you move on from people, that's when the falsehood starts. It's very easy to talk about how managers are shady, producers are shady, people, and it's true. That runs all through the game.
Right.
With me, I will tell anybody this. We give standard industry contracts. We give the contract to you, we'll tell you, get a lawyer to look at it. Any contract can be worked out. So you work out those terms and everything, and then you sign the contract, and then we get to work. It's that simple. Right. And with music, it's always a gamble. It's either going to hit or it's not. I've had groups that were in tremendous situations, and they blew them. One of them was actually all set to go see Clive Davis.
Wow.
But they decided to listen to the wrong people, get misinfluenced, and they went and did that instead. Deal over. It's gone. And then it's like, where are they now? Then I had another situation, and you can, I always talk about this one. We did a show at the Shaw Center. The group sang, and so they opened for Silk, and they sang for Little G backstage. Little G asked me right there, well, what's going on here, man? And I told him, we're just working hard, getting ready to do some things. He gave me his contact and said, we're going to talk and we're going to do something with you later on. So now what's that mean? You're there. You've done it. Yeah. But as usual, once again, it's the influence. Instead of you following through with what you've been working on and taking advantage of the situation, Here come the people who know nothing about your business, are not involved with your business, but they have something to say with it. So when they get all this negative information, they believe the falsehood or whatever, and we don't need him. We can do better. And then you go on about your business, and it falls off. So I myself, every situation with me is a building situation. I mean, every artist is a building situation. You hope that they listen, that they stay on their game, and they pay attention to what you're telling them. Because a
Yes.
lot of times that's the problem. They don't listen or they think they know. And I have to tell a lot of these kids, this is not your grandfather's music industry. It's evolved and it's changed so much. Having distribution like we have is a really big blessing because we do music, it's getting distributed internationally. It's not a pipe dream, it's not a hope so. This is really happening for us, and I can't wait till we start putting these songs out, and I'm giving people a chance. I want to do a compilation album with Boston, you know, and I just signed my well, I didn't actually sign, but I'm in negotiations with my first rapper out of New York, Eldorado Red. Boy, is dope, and we got more stuff coming. The next edition is going to be a real interesting process for the city, though. I can't wait to
Okay.
get started on the production for that.
Definitely, definitely. I look forward to seeing who you have on there, what's going on. You represent Boston heavy as
Right,
a music as a manager, as a you know, dealing with different emotions, different you know, attitudes, like you would say. I had 25 artists under me, and when it was time for that meeting, not everybody wanted to come together, and that's how things, you got to be organized so things will go smooth right down the aisle.
right.
And people don't understand that. And as an artist, I suggest that you link with this gentleman here. He's doing big moves for Boston, and that's great to
hmm
represent Boston around the world. You're not just staying in Boston, you represent and you going
Right.
out there for Boston.
It's the world is a big place, and that's why it amazes me how people get caught up. See what it is with a lot of people from Boston. Honestly, I think they're just comfortable in that zone. They
Yes.
don't want to leave the comfort zone. You want to leave where everybody is. You're assured that those 20, 15, however many people are telling you how dope you are. I put the battleground challenge out there for the rappers. I got one rapper that entered. That was a gold studded belt. I had the belt and everything on Facebook, had the $1,000 cash. Come one, come all. Just let's do this challenge. So that's still in the works too. That's actually gonna be a TV production. But it's like
I mean,
because the input from the city was so low, we're gonna go somewhere else and we'll pull various rappers from various different areas to get that done. But that's gonna be a pretty dope competition, I think. You
yeah,
know?
let me. I know a lot of battle rappers around. So some in Boston, but some in New York. So let me know if you're interested with those names. I'll pass them your way.
Yeah, I mean the way that is, that's we're gonna actually do a television promo for that too. So it's a lot of TV work. I'm gonna do my dance show finally, thank God, this year. So that's coming in this summer. There's gonna be a dance show similar to Soul Train American Bandstand, so that all the dancers get a chance to do their thing. Another thing I offer to dancers, but the thing is, if you get an opportunity to showcase your talent, take the opportunity to showcase your talent. If you want to get
Yes.
paid for anything, it's an earned thing. You have to have receipts. So if you're just coming in, to dance, let's say, and I need to get paid for being on this dance show. It doesn't work that way. You're getting a chance to showcase your talent and what it is for free on a big scale. This is television. This isn't just some local yokel type thing. And these are shows that are getting shot to be put into the pool of AMG Sony for potential distribution. And you have to have more than one show or in the can in order to get them to say, okay, here's the funds, we're going to back the show and we're going to put it out to market or whatever. And like I said, AMG Sony is a global thing. It's global. It's not just one place. They're located in Canada,
Yes.
and anybody that wants to find out the legitimacy of 8Ball Entertainment being signed, be my guest, give them a call because they will tell you, yes, he is signed to our organization.
That's amazing. Definitely.
hmm
If you ever need a judge, let me know. I would love to be a judge. I was the judge on oh, what was it? The battle rap premier battle rap out of Lynn. They're
Hmm.
no longer doing it, but yeah, if you ever need uh, a judge, I would love to do that for you.
We got a lot of stuff coming up. We're going to do quite a few contests because that's where you find most of the talent. And what I'm trying to do is, I love hip hop just as much as the next person, but I'm trying to get these kids to get more creative and start branching off into singing and stuff again. You know, we have one of the best vocal coaches in the world, and he's worked with Whitney Houston, Bobby Brown, TLC. That's Chris Waller. But that's what I mean about our organization. It's a legit organization with everything that you need. We're like a Motown type of an outfit. We teach you everything from front to back. That's our objective, is to educate these kids on the game and teach them the skill sets and stuff they need to be successful in the business and learn the business so they don't get taken advantage of. So,
Right.
it's like, to me, it's just a thing of, now that I know what I know and doing what I'm doing, I just want to be a blessing to a bunch of young people and give them opportunities.
Right. What is there any particular artist that you were looking for? Per se, country, jazz. Is there anything that you particular as a
Come on,
musician?
come on. We got a rock group coming out.
Okay.
We're doing some of everything. We're not pigeonholing ourselves. This is we want to take this to a whole nother realm and a whole nother level. There's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of talent around, boss. A
Yeah.
whole lot. And we want to showcase that talent, but we're getting calls from talent from other places. Actually, there's a really dope group that I talked to out of Seattle, Washington. That's different, and I'm gonna probably bring them up for a showcase. And I just signed Monique Songbird. I don't know if you peeped her on any of the snippets I put up. The girl can blow. She's like my Kelly Price. That's that's how I call it. You know what I'm saying? But she got
Yeah.
chopped. She's dope. So pretty soon we're gonna put together a showcase before we go out on a promo tour. And
That's
everybody get to see the new merch we have. We basically have ventured into the THC market. We're doing vapes now,
okay.
and different layers and different levels of vape. One to relax you, one to help you be creative, one to, so it's so many different things we have going on. We have different flavors. That's our merch now. One of the things we have for merch. So we're really branching out. I did the liquor thing for a minute. It really didn't work out, but this is 100% us. This is us and what we're doing. So, I know the first show we plan on doing for that, we're gonna give away 2 free vapes with your VIP table. So
Okay.
we'll let everybody know when that's happening. It's perfectly legal. It's not. I mean, these are great if you want to go to, when you're at work, have a little smoke break or whatever. You can do it. You're not going to come back smelling like weed or anything like that. It's a great product. I stand
Yes.
behind it 100%.
So it's like dabs, but without the like heating it up and then smoking it from the pipe.
Right, right.
I know
It's,
exactly.
these are
That's
little disposable vape pens. It's
yeah.
just called
Yeah.
drip. You're gonna be seeing drip everywhere pretty soon. And then we got
I
the eight
heard of
drip
it.
brand coming out.
Oh, okay, okay. If
Hmm.
you ever my boy has out in Utah, he has a weed farm. So if you're ever interested in coming up with your own strand, let me know. I'll let you link together.
Okay, that's dope. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I salute
Hmm.
to you, Captain over here. I'm gonna start calling you like I used to call Don Hazel the OG. I'm gonna start calling you Captain. Every
Yeah.
time I see you, I'm gonna salute to you. No, I love to see positive things, especially for our city, for Boston.
Hmm.
Um, and especially that you're OG. You've been through like the old, like the from the beginning of hip hop to where it's at now, and like what will work, won't work. So people
Right.
should respect it and come to you if they're looking for to be signed with a manager. Link with this gentleman. I mean, he's doing some boss moves for Boston. He has his entertainment. He has everything. I've been to his location. Great location. You will feel comfortable when you record, and especially who's on his team. I mean, that's amazing talent and great people on his team that is gonna, the people that they trained already succeeded. So you're in good hands. So
Right.
definitely with you.
Right. They already got their music and stuff is getting done. A lot of it's being mixed and mastered now, so we can get these projects out for the summer months going into the fall. Even probably gonna do a Christmas album. We'll stop working on that in the summer. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on. You know, we got a ton. Like I said, I'm feeling very blessed and very fortunate. You know what I mean? And it's sometimes it's a heavy load to bear, but you know, you know what you're made for. You know, and like they say, God don't give you nothing you can't handle. You know, so if the lemon comes, it's always gonna be sweet ass lemonade with us. That's how we move. You know,
Definitely.
so really, really great place. You know what I mean? So yeah, we do have a lot of shows coming. We even have something coming out for the older audience. You know, we're doing some R&B stuff. You know, there's a vocal group that I'm in called KMR, and then there's
Okay.
the band itself, the Something Smooth band, which is my band. We're gonna do some stuff. So it's like that's a shout out to, and I haven't even told them yet, but if you guys know Keyshawn Wallace, it's gonna be
Yes.
crazy. You know, you know what I mean? It's like the
Yes.
stuff's been written. We just got to get in the lab and spit everything out and get it going. But
Wow.
it's really because, you know, like I said, we want to do things that cater to a lot of different people or a lot of different audiences. Because I hear people that are older, like I can't stay in the radio. There's nothing for me to listen to anymore. There's nothing. So we want to give them something fresh and new to listen to. That's the Neos brand that I'm creating called New Era Old School, flashes of the old stuff mixed with some new beats, some trap beats underneath it, and we're just gonna take it like that. You know, the song I'm doing with Keith Murray is actually it's kind of like a remake. A little bit of California love, a little bit of I ain't gonna say, but you'll hear it when it comes out. We're supposed to hit the studio for that one in like maybe about 2-3 weeks.
That's amazing. I look forward. I always say I love R&B music. I'll be 44 in a couple months, and that music always sticks. When we were growing up, your
Right.
parents or your grandparents always had it in.
Mm-hmm.
When you have babies, you don't want to play that garbage that's about killing this, killing that. You want to play something smooth and
Right.
calming. And
Mm-hmm.
R never goes out of style.
No,
Never.
no, no. But see, it's like I tell everybody, you look at what embodies everything. You know what I mean? And I know where the funding, because I'm in the game, I know where all the funding for the stuff you hear on the radio comes from. You know what I'm saying? That's why you're getting a lot of trap, a lot of, you know what I'm saying? That's why
Right,
you get
right,
that random music that's constantly getting programmed. So
right.
it's like I look at it like R&B is that lost, forgotten child sometimes, and that's the
Yes.
root of everything. So even with the culture here in Boston, I feel like it's time to take it back to that root. So that's what I'm working on. I'm aggressively pushing that. And a lot of people are believing in it. A lot of people see it and they're for it. So I'm just going to continue trying to get back to that basic element of what Boston is all about. Boston needs to be more creative because it used to be very creative, but now it's a lot of duplication. That sounds hot because so and so's doing it. I want to sound like so and so. When you come in with a different type of sauce for the spaghetti, you're going to get all the people wanting to taste your brand. So that's what you need to work on. Doing something unique and being different in the game. Because too many people are duplicating what they see and hear, like, oh, that's hot. If you're constantly getting, and I always use that analogy, why sell apple pie at the apple pie factory? Come up with something different and new. Come up with a new sound. Or you digress and go back to what was hot back in the day and just put a new twist on it.
You are so right. I always say that to everyone. I always say that. I said, always be your own artist. Be unique. Be different. You know, think about who was hot back in the day and who's not here, but still is in the music industry and
Right,
just faded. Look at Madonna. Madonna's coming back. People
right,
thought Madonna wasn't coming back. She's coming back. She's hot.
right. And it's like I always use the example of you might not pop here in this country, but you can pop somewhere else. And I always use that analogy. Tachina Arnold from Martin, she plays Pam.
Yes, yes.
Huge R&B star overseas. Might
Yep.
not be here, and in other places there's a great appreciation for R&B. The UK, they love R&B music.
Yes.
It's still almost like a new thing to them, so they're really into it. So there's
Yes.
more to the world than just where you are. People need to climb out of the fishbowl, get out of the comfort zone, and investigate the process. Don't be afraid of competition. Don't be afraid of criticism. That's part of the game. You have to absorb all of that stuff. And that's actually tools that you use to help get you to the next level.
Right.
Criticism helps you learn. Failure helps you learn. And it's called failing forwards or failing upwards. You know, and like I said, even with me, people have, oh, that you had that group's gone, da 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 da. You had that singer's gone. Everything is a building process. Out of everything I build on, every situation, that's what it's all about. Your brand and how you build yourself. This is where people fail because they're too busy, instead of concentrating and focusing on themselves, they're looking at what other people are doing. And you don't get creative doing that. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes I remember when I used to tell like the young groups I had, don't listen to the radio. And they'd be like, why? I said, because I want you to develop your own hearing and your own sound. And that's when you get something unique. And it worked. One of the first groups I had a very unique sound to them. You know, they weren't like anybody else. And it totally worked. And they were doing well. But like I said, unfortunately, outside influences. And there's always going to be that because people do not want to see other people do better than them. That's just the nature of the game. You know, that's how people operate and that's how people move. So, you know, you can't really pay that any attention. You have to be your own person and do what you're supposed to do for yourself and not let the outside influences get you. You know, and that's something I will give Imaya 1,000% credit for because they tried to come forward. They tried to tell her. But see, she's at a point now where she's seen it. She's been to Platinum Studios. Platinum Studios is so Sony. This is the same studio that Jay-Z, Beyonce, Kanye West. This is where they record. We record in the same place. You know what I'm saying? So she's been exposed to it and she's seen it, so she knows it's real. So if you try to get in her ear with anything, she's like, I know what I've seen already. You know,
Right.
and you can say the same thing for Milani. She's seen it already. She's been there. You know, she got on the phone with Jerry Wonder, you know, and it was like she stepped back for a minute, had her wilderness experience, and she came back because she sees what's real now. So
Right.
this is what I'm saying, and I'm constantly telling people this is the age of realness we're in right now. The faking it till you make it. I'm on social media, available on all platforms. It's not going to work anymore. You have to get into the game the right way. You know, you have to. So if it's not going anywhere beyond your social media pages, it ain't gonna pop. You know, and that's what I tell people. AMG Sony promises you marketing at the highest level. And if you want marketing, it's gonna cost you. And I'm in a position to give people marketing that they can afford. And I do that on purpose. I could charge them up, I could tax them up. But when you tell people anything, the first thing that comes to anybody's mind is, oh, they just want my money. First and foremost, if your stuff isn't up to par, nobody's going to take your money. If your paperwork is not correct, we're not even going to look at you. You got to have your publishing agreements done. You got to have your splits done. Your stuff has to be mixed and mastered. All of that business has to be taken care of. Your copyrights. Then you need to sign the papers with me that says the producer did this. I agree to this. I agree to that. Then it goes into the pool. So it's not just give me your money and we're gonna upload your songs, you know. And I tell people the thing with AG Sony also, you can call somebody and check on your work, see what's going on. What are my numbers? How are my streams doing? Where are my placements at? What's my financial situation? All of that. People, oh well, yeah, I got DistroKid. Try calling DistroKid, see what happens. You ain't gonna get nobody. You're paying $20 a month, and they're basically doing what you can do and uploading you to all platforms. That's it. You can do that yourself, but you have to have the marketing behind you. And one of the biggest aspects of anything right now is having merch. You have to have some kind of merch to sell. You know, it's a hand-in-hand issue, and you have to have visuals to go with your music. You can be the dopest singer on the planet, but if you ain't got the visuals and everything, that's your marketing right there. And stop getting mad at pay-to-play shows. People kill me with that. You know, I don't pay to, well, if you don't want to pay to perform, that's you marketing yourself. I say
Yes.
that all the time. So what it is so a promoter is supposed to promote you. You don't have a following, you don't have a name, nobody knows who you are, but you want to get paid. Now, if you tell that same artist to give you $10 to $15 to go see somebody they don't know, they're going to cuss you out. What am I going to
Right.
do that for? So it's really the system needs to start supporting itself. And we have to culturally change the environment here in the city. So the only way to change that environment is to just start doing things that are very visible and that people can see. And it's like a situation where, like everything else, everybody can't get in. You know, everybody has to earn the spot, and you get what you earn. You know, and the system can only hold so much. So you get in, learn what you can, you get the help that you can, and you do what you need to do. 8Ball is here for that. You know,
That's
but
amazing.
but like I said, you know, you run into that. Oh, don't! It's not real. It's not okay. My thing is okay. You say it's not real. It's not real. But you know, like I said, when you're living it, you see it every day. You know what it is. I know the conversations I have and the people that I talk to. So you know, when people say that, I'm like, okay, whatever. You know, they hit up my artist. Oh, you know that dude. You know, and it's like you hear that stuff from people that don't even know you.
Yes, it's
See,
true.
and that's what I'm saying. And I'm like, well, that's just shade and hate. They don't want to see you advance. And people
Yes.
go through all the trouble of focusing on you, what you're doing, and where you are, and there's no self-focus. So
Right.
my favorite saying for 2022 is stay hydrated and mind your business.
Yes. Yes.
That's what you need to do.
And
Focus.
focus on yourself too.
Right.
Like, it's not being selfish, but block those people out. I always say that because those are the haters that they're trying to see you fail, and they might put a bad name on you. They might try to say, oh, your music sucks, your music, oh, can you improve this or that. There's
Right.
always something. Just like I say, if you're a chef, you can't make everybody happy and like your food. So
Hmm.
therefore, do you what makes you happy and get it from a manager like yourself.
Right.
You know in the industry, and you've
Hmm.
been around, you've seen it, you know how it is, you have your contracts ready. These artists think they can just come and be an artist overnight and boom,
Right.
every that's not how it is. It's not.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's that. What is that? What was that movie? Boomerang. That Boney T stuff. I've been here
Yes,
for about 2, 3 weeks. You know, how
yes,
about a promotion in a corner office? No.
yes,
And like the saying goes, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. It takes a
right,
lot of patience. And I tell
right,
people, it takes 5 years to break an artist. It really, truly does. Michael Jackson was doing strip clubs and little beer joints with his brothers before they got put on.
yes,
Prince was just doing his thing in high school and all of that. He was a prodigy from like the age of I think 12 to 16. Put out his first. He went in the studio for Warner Brothers at 16. You know,
yes,
but it took time to get there. There's always steps before you get somewhere. And then it's like those people that come up, the know the talented people they know, they bring them up behind them. That's how
yes,
Prince ended up with the time and the family and Vanity Six. Those were people that he knew and he brought up behind him. So that's what you do. You do something to be the gate opener, you know. But
yes,
the thing is, people here have a thing about seeing the gate open and they don't want you to go through it, you
right,
know, and that's sad, but it's true. But I don't
yes,
focus on that. I just focus on now. I'm gonna tell you, my artists are on the other side of that gate currently, you know. So it's like we're just doing what we got to do with the successes and the blessings that we have, and that's what we're gonna work, and we're gonna make them even bigger. So you
yes,
know, there are those that believed in me, that followed me, that are walking through the gate also, and there's gonna be a lot more. And things just keep evolving and happening. Because at first it was just the music, then it was business ventures, then it was television, then it was movies. So
yes.
this is where we are right now, you
I
know?
love it. I definitely love it. I've been in the music industry since 2008, and I have people that say, "Oh, you never did this." I used to host nightclubs in Lynn on Route One Saugus Taboo, which was a
Hmm.
big club. I used to host on Thursdays and Saturdays, and like I have my background, my bio of everything I've done, and people are like, "Wow, you got 2 pages." I'm like, "Yeah," because
Hmm.
it doesn't just happen overnight. Like, you're my 453 interview. I've been doing that for 3.5 years straight forward. I haven't stopped. Like, I had surgery, I was back at it. Like,
Right.
you can't stop and come back and think everything. No, you have to keep
You know,
grinding, keep going.
be consistent. Because the
Yes.
consistency is the biggest thing. I see people hitting the reset button too many times, you know,
Yes.
and the next thing you know, you're like 45 years old trying to jump around like your new edition and whatnot. And it's like you basically were just constantly restarting yourself. You have to be consistent and continue.
Definitely.
You can't just be like, okay, yeah, no, that well, I'll pick it back up in a year because you have all of this momentum. Even throughout COVID, we did not stop. We kept going. We kept going because I knew, I said, if we're ready, we keep going. Let's do the phone thing. Let's do what we got to do. Keep the business moving, push papers around, get things set up. So it was boom, right when it was over and you could move around, we were ready. And that's the nature of the game, being ready for the opportunities when they arrive, And sometimes with these artists, the opportunity's right there and they don't even see it. I've seen it so many times. Do you know who that was? No. Well, judging from what they just saw, you'll never know. I've been in
Yeah.
those. I've been in those situations. I've been in those situations so many times. Like you never know who's coming. You never know who's watching you. You never know who's listening to you. You know.
Definitely.
And then like I said, you go through the whole thing with dealing with these artists, and they find out once they try to strike on their own how hard it is. So mind you, they're trying to do it individual. I have a whole company and a whole roster and a whole
Yes.
bunch of other people. I have a good team,
Yes.
and as soon as you shrink that circle and protect it and stop letting all them influences come in, that's when the success comes your way.
Right.
So that's what we did. And people expose themselves. You don't have to be sitting there looking over your shoulder and stuff. Just watch how people move and what they do. I've been doing
Yes.
this so long now. I see it. I'll tell you, oh, he ain't coming back, or he's in this for the wrong reason.
Yes.
And if you're doing it to get rich, it's not going to happen for you. It has to be a passion. You have to
Yes.
love what you're doing. If you love what you're doing, it's going to work out for you. You know,
Yes.
it's going to work out for you. But if you're just doing it for money, it's not going to work because you ain't
Definitely.
going to make a ton of money coming out the gate anyway. You got to pay your
Fact.
dues and you have to get receipts. That's what
Yes.
the industry wants now. Before the industry is going to move the needle for anything for you, you have to have receipts. With me,
Yes.
they saw the consistency in developing talent. They said it
Yes.
was like a revolving door. One come out, you got another one coming up behind them.
Yep. It's
You
true.
stayed consistent. So that's why we like you. That's how I got my distribution deal. The hard work pays off.
Yes. Yes. And salute to you. A lot of people can't get that. So I definitely salute to you what you're doing. And how about coming out with I know you have your own group, but how about, like, coming out like Grandpa's new edition or something like that, just like all like grandpas, but they were, somebody that was in the music industry, but now they're back for 2020, something like that. How
Oh,
about that?
we got we got some stuff coming. I'm telling you.
Okay, okay.
I
Can't
keep
wait.
kind of you notice I keep kind of touching on older rappers and stuff, right? Like
Yes,
see the thing is a lot of these older rappers, a lot of people don't realize they're the ones selling out arenas. These young ones are selling out clubs. There's a difference.
yeah, it's true.
There's a big difference. You see what I mean? So yeah, there's some stuff coming down the line. You'll see. You'll see.
I love it. I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm like a little kid with the candy bar waiting to eat the candy bar.
Yeah, it's a process, but it's just a matter of putting all the players in place,
Yes.
timing, and letting things happen the way they're supposed to happen. And that's the thing. A lot of people want to rush everything. And taking your time is the best practice because when you rush, you miss things, you know.
Mhm.
And like I tell people, I'd rather live in a mansion that it took me 10 years to build than live in a shack that it took me 2 days to build. That's
Right.
what it is. It's about
Yep.
longevity, long term, and building a legacy. you know.
Definitely.
So it's like I said, we're doing a lot. We're doing a whole lot. And I'm just really, really feeling fortunate and happy and blessed about everything that's going on with the company. You know, 8
Yes.
Ball 10 years old this year. You know,
Wow.
so
Yes.
yeah.
Wow.
So that's why I
So
said this is the blockbuster year for us. We're gonna
yeah.
no shorts, no shorts. And I have
Wow.
artists that like to work. They work hard on their own. And our objective, I keep saying, is to entertain other people, not entertain ourselves. That's what our objective is, to be as entertaining and as engaging as possible from the top to the bottom, which is me, the boss, all the way down to all the artists. You know,
Yes.
because I mean, last year I performed. I didn't tell anybody. I just shocked everybody because I hadn't done it in years. So,
I went to that. I went
so
to that.
we're gonna do it again because people keep asking when we're gonna do it. So there's gonna
Okay.
be a showcase for all the OGs. It's coming. Trust me. It's
Okay.
it's
Okay.
it's coming. Straight R&B show with splashes of hip hop in there, like we used to like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how it's gonna be.
I can't wait to see that. Don Hazel, R.I.P. the legend.
Mm-hmm.
He introduced me to you, and
Right.
Jackie, you got to interview him. And I remember this was about 3-4 years ago when he
Mm-hmm.
first started telling me to interview you, and I'm like, nah, he's too busy. I think he's too busy. And he's like, nah, Jackie, he got great talent. And then when I started, like, checking you out and
Right.
seeing what you're about, and I'm like, wow, this man is legit. What he's trying to do for Boston, and I've
Mm-hmm.
been seeing. And I salute to you. You stayed going, and during COVID, that was hard not to stop, especially having to record. You got to be careful of this one being in the studio, this
Right.
one recording. You kept it
Wiping
solid.
everything. Yeah, wiping everything down, bringing the Lysol in. You know, I mean, we went to New York for Imaya to record, and I'm telling you, it was like sterilize everything. You know what I mean? But that's what it is. We had to get it done. You know, and what came out of there was amazing. You know, that girl just amazes me at every turn. And, Milani is such an emotional writer to the point where I was like, hey, listen, we need some club bangers, you know? You know what I'm saying?
Um,
So we got some nice club stuff coming out, like from all of the artists. Elion, like I said, he just signed with us. He's a great writer too. Look at his videos. His videos are dope. He got one with a puppet.
oh,
It was so funny when I saw that video. But
okay.
it's called Provider.
Okay.
And he's a really talented dude, young little Latin dude, man, and he's just a force. You know what I
Oh,
mean? So yeah, I mean, so pretty much now the train has left the station and it's moving full speed. It's just going. And
okay.
now the work's gonna start coming out. And these names I'm mentioning, you're gonna be hearing them and you're gonna be seeing them, and it's gonna be great. You know?
I look forward definitely to hearing them, seeing them. I would love to go to one of your shows when you have it. And I have a question. If someone's like in a financial bind, and say that they are great artists and they're really trying, do you give them like they can make loan payments towards you to get on your team, or
Yeah,
no?
well, even with the distribution, we'll do installment plans. Sure.
Okay.
Because we know not everybody has $2,500 laying around or
Okay.
3,500. It's tough. We know that. But at the end of the day, this is a business and we have to do things too. See, so I
Right.
look at that element of it and I'm saying to myself, if anybody was smart, and I hope people are listening to what I'm getting ready to say, you would get together with other artists and pool your money. Compilations are great. You follow me? Now
Yes.
let's see who
Yes.
takes that advice. The key component is you would get together and you would do that. An album can be up to 60 songs or more long. So
Wow. That's
if you had enough people get together and compile the money, you get the distribution you need.
yeah.
Long as all the paperwork and stuff is done. And it really upsets me, like when I hear something, I'm like, oh, that's dope. Where did who's the producer? Oh, I got it off YouTube. We can't do nothing with that. You don't have the rights to the music. You don't have, yeah, but it's dope. Yeah, but we can't do that. We don't have the right to sell that. You don't have the right to put it out to market. You have to make sure that your business is correct before we can do anything with it. you know.
Right.
And see, and like I said, when you're doing things that are legit, sometimes it just gets under people's skin because they're
Right.
used to seeing things done a certain way. And it's like, there's two ways to do everything. There's the right way and the wrong way. So that plain and
Mhm.
simple. So you want to do
Right.
everything correctly so that you don't have any glitches. You know,
Right.
you want it to be done because you get this record is hitting and then you get the cease and desist and somebody saying, where's my $100,000?
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's better to do things correctly, you know?
Right. Right. I
Hmm.
tell I tell artists all the time, I'm like, why would you want to buy a beat that is already someone else's beat that you're going to be paying for and you can't do anything with it? I tell them that, and they look at me like I got 30 heads on my head, and I'm like,
Right.
they're like, it's fire. I'm like, it doesn't matter. As an
Nope.
artist, you're wasting money. You can't do nothing with it.
Right.
It's point.
And the thing is, see, this is what I say too. If you want to impress somebody, impress the right people. Okay. You're not getting paid to impress people that don't make any difference. You know, you be impressionable to people that are gonna make the difference for you. Just the fact that you made it and it's fire, but you don't own the rights to it makes no sense. It's
Right.
nothing. You can't do anything with it. You know. So I mean, we have residency at a hotel now, and I didn't even bring that up.
Nice.
So, you
Nice.
know, even with that, we're gonna open up the doors and do some seminars for artists,
Okay.
okay, that want to really understand and learn the processes. Because that's what a lot of it is. They don't understand the process. And some people are intimidated by the process. But it's really a matter of you have to do things correctly. That's the most important thing. Do things correctly and get your music out there. I hate seeing that saying I have, you know, wasted talent is a terrible thing. And I see so
Yeah.
much talent get wasted because they don't want to do that work. And see, that's where management comes in. Okay, get the song. Let me talk to the producer, get the paperwork done. That's my job. That's what management does. It is not management's job to pay for anything. But that's
Right.
what people get misconstrued. They think you're supposed to pay for clothes, pay for studio time, pay for them to get there, pay for them. That's not our job. Our job is to make sure that business is done correctly. You know?
Yes. Yes. Preach. Say the truth. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Now, now
Sound just like.
with me, the label situation is this, and I tell artists that, you know, if I'm paying for certain things, you can't. Platinum Studios is not cheap. You can't pay for that. You see what I'm saying? But you're going to record it platinum. That's on the label's expense. So when things happen and you get that first big blow up, the label's going to take out what it's due. It's a business. It's not a I'm a nice guy thing. It's a business. It's
Right.
called the music business. When you hear about a lot of these artists, even big ones, oh, you know, the contract, you know, the manager was ripping me off. See, a lot of times these managers get carried away and they believe in the artist so much that they put out money. They spend money. They spend money. They spend money. Now the artist gets used to that. And then when the manager's like, okay, you got a check for, you know, the manager spent like 30 grand. He tells you, oh, you got to sign, they signing you. You got a signing bonus of $50,000. Now the manager spent 30 grand. He might pull his 30 out, which is him
Yeah.
breaking even and give you the 20. Yo, you said I got $50,000. What happened to the other 30? Well, you know, you had the shows we went on the road, the hotel stage, the food, you had your costumes, the man had to get paid. I was paying all that out of my pocket. Oh, that's bullshit. You stealing my money. See, this is where people get the game twisted. Know the
Mhm.
game before you get into it and learn how it works and who all the players are. Because
Yes.
that's how people operate. When they see you doing things, they think that that's supposed to be a constant throughout thing. See, that's what happened to the first group. I was supposed to constantly be taking the label's money and dumping and dumping and dumping and dumping. But we ain't making no money. You're not earning any money either. It's a process. So when you earn money, we sit down and we talk about it. I can either take out the lump sum when it comes in, or we can do payments from that. But
Right.
this is a business. You can be as close to the artist as you want. They can be your friend, they can be your family. But the baseline of everything is you are in the music business.
Mhm.
That's the key component and that's the key word. And I conduct myself as such. This is a business, you know, and I'm very, very close with my artists, all of them.
Yes. Yep.
What they
I felt like
understand that.
family when I went into your business, and I felt like
Hmm.
it was family as soon as I walked in the doors. And Don Hazel said, he's like, yo, he's the down to earth, but he's a businessman. And I was like, I respect it 1000%, you know.
Yeah,
And as soon as I went in, you were really. I felt like home there, like you know how the setup was. Your artists were there, and they were just the same attitude like you, straight to business. Like I love that,
right,
like the structure. They had it, and that's what we need. We need structure to stay structure, or the house is just going to crumble if you don't have the
right.
structure for the foundation.
Yeah, you have to do that. You have to have the structure, um, and you know you have to distribute everything accordingly. You know, what's due is due. If you're an artist that was with me for 4 years, of course you're gonna get more attention than the artist that just signed. You know, and that artist that just signed needs to chill and watch and learn the process. And
Yes.
in coming along with that, every time that artist moves, you move. That's how it works. It's a we thing. It's not a me thing. Everybody on this in this organization understands the object of teamwork. Everybody's going to be bouncing off of each other. They're all doing tracks together. They're doing tracks with other people. We got Adam Emil from Color Me Bad coming out. He's going to do some stuff with us.
Nice.
You know, there was some talk of somebody that was with a super group, boy group. I'm not even going to mention him, but he might be doing some work with us because we're still in negotiations for certain things. So there's a lot of relativity and names from the industry that we will be dealing with. You see what I'm saying? So it's there, you know. And like I said, the plugs are real. You know, I mean, to go to New York and deal with Commissioner Gordon, I was like, wow, this is just crazy. You know, I'm sitting here with Commissioner Gordon. This is the dude responsible for the miseducation of Lauryn Hill. He mixed and mastered that album. You
Yeah.
know, a real
Yeah.
cool dude. We hung out with him for the whole day. You know, love him. You know what I mean? My business manager, Sydney Devon, the best. You know, and we live in a no cap zone. Everything we're doing is 100% real here. This is not to impress anybody. This is not to say, hey, look at us, look at what we're doing. If you hear me talking about the things we have going on, it's just showing where we're blessed. I'm one of the
Right.
most humble people. Somebody said to me, how can you be so humble? I didn't even know how to answer the question, but that's just who I am. You know, I'm always thankful and grateful for every opportunity that comes my way. And I try to share those opportunities with others. But if they don't wish to partake in them, or they feel like there's some other motive to it, then it's not for them. So I just have to move on and do what I need to do that's conducive to the success of everybody that wants to continue on the path. You have to follow the blueprint. The model and the
Right.
blueprint for everything. And we have a plan. You know, and that's the thing. You have to go into it. Like I said, it's a business. You have to go into it with some type of plan. If you don't have a plan, you know, just saying I'm gonna make my music and upload it to Facebook and let everybody hear it. It's not a business plan. You know, and people are getting ticked at me lately because I keep saying that. I'm sorry, Facebook is not the music industry. It's a social media platform. You can tell
Yeah.
people about your music, but you're not doing any heavy marketing on it. You can buy the marketing in a little bit, but you know that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? So it's really just about getting to the game and getting to the meat of it and doing real business. You know,
Right.
that's what we do. We're on real business here. You know, totally.
So do you have merchandise so they could go purchase it for 8 Ball Entertainment right now, or you're in the process of still making it?
We're in the process. I do have some on hand. Yes,
Okay.
we
Where
got.
can they go to purchase it?
Well, we actually are going to put together the website pretty soon. The
Okay.
website's going to be great because when you hit that website link, it's going to get you into everything: music, merch, upcoming projects. You'll see everything on this website. You know what I mean? And shout out to Milani because she's like one of the spokesperson for the THC vapes. She's got her own
Okay.
flavor called Pineapple Express.
Oh, okay, okay.
So yeah.
I've tried some weed that was pineapple express, and it was one of my favorite weeds I've ever tried. So,
Well, this stuff,
uh,
like I said, it's all natural. It's in a coconut oil base. It's very
okay,
natural, very healthy. It's gonna be a good product. Like a lot of people are gonna like it. We've got nothing but positive reviews about it.
All
Very
right, I'm gonna have.
smoothed out.
Let me know when they come out. I'm gonna have to.
I got you. I got one for you right now.
All
I got
right,
one for
cool.
you right now for sure.
Definitely, definitely. And everywhere I go, I'm gonna be showing it,
And
telling
we're
people
gonna have
about it.
a drip event, you know, to launch it. We're gonna have a party. Like I said, the VIP tables, it'll be, you know, we'll have some there for sale. But if you buy the VIP table, it's gonna come with two of them anyways.
That's amazing. Salute. Definitely. I look forward to everything you got going on. And who are some artists, if do you want to mention that you worked with in the past, or you want to keep it
I'm
going?
just on what I'm working with now, which is Elion, Imaya, whose project is coming out, Milani, whose project is coming out, Monique Sonberg, her project is coming out. Eldorado Red, his project's gonna be coming out. And there's a lot more. There's still more, but we're just those are all in the infant stages, you
Okay.
know. And there's a lot of pre-production. Some of it's pertaining to television. You see what I'm saying? So I can't get into the throes of what it's all about too much. But when
Right.
it happens, it's gonna be crazy. But people
Yes.
need to let these youngsters show their talent. You know,
Yes.
stop acting like everything's about somebody trying to steal from you. Let them have the opportunity to shine. You know, it
Definitely.
upsets me when I see somebody talented and people try to tell them, oh, don't, you know, a lot of people got hurt feelings because maybe they're not as talented as somebody or they tried it before and it failed. It's like let the youngsters do their thing and figure it out for themselves.
Yes.
You know, and you know, of course, as adults protect them. You know what I mean? Sure, protect them, but let them figure stuff out. Because most of the youngsters come up to me, yeah, you gotta check me out, blah blah blah. I'm like, what do you do? And of course, I rap, you know. And then it's like, okay, now this kid is like 12, and he starts gang gang gang, and I'm like, hey, you know, nah, dude, you know what I mean?
You're
It's
right.
like, and I tell all these kids that, you know, I say, hey, right now rappers are there's an oversaturation. Do something unique. Listen to Drake. Try to emulate something with a twist on that. Just do something a little different. Because rappers are everywhere. There's-
Right.
it's an abundance of it.
Many. That's why I
Hmm.
said they need to do their own street, be like unique, like you just said. But R&B is where it's always been, and it's like we need. I tell artists, there's too many rappers in the world, and they're all. You know what I can't stand is the auto tune. I cannot stand that because
Hmm.
that makes you all sound the same. And who wants to hear 10 songs back to back with
Right.
all that same thing? Be your unique. Bring that your voice out. We want to hear that voice inside you. That's what's
Right.
gonna make you the money by your voice, not somebody else's voice that is gonna make your voice sound different. That's not the way to go. And I tell the artists, they get mad at me, and I'm just speaking the truth. It's like when you go in front, like you got everything in front of you, and when you hear that, that's not them.
Right.
That's
It's
it's not
it's something anybody can do.
right.
You know, and it's like I look at the artists that I have, and like I said, Imaya is going on year number 4, and to see where she is now, it's just amazing to me. But somebody said, well, that's artist development. That's what you do. And I'm like, yeah, but with her, she's a natural. You know,
Yes,
I
I think I
sent
met her 2 years ago, right?
right. Yep. Yeah, you
She
interviewed her.
wasn't 18. She wasn't 18
She
because
was
her
only
mom.
16. She was 16
Yes,
when you interviewed her. Yep. And then
yes.
and then with Milani, it's like I remember when the vocal coach, I sent her in the room with the vocal coach. She came out like 20 minutes later, and he had
Wow,
said, don't waste your time. She don't need no vocal lesson.
wow, that's amazing.
See what I mean? So yeah, like I said, talent, you know, and
Yeah.
it's, we're gonna showcase that talent to the fullest. Milani did this song, a letter to mama. That the hairs on your neck type stuff. She gives you those. She can give you like that Whitney Houston, anything from Whitney Houston to like Lady Rage vibe. You know,
Oh
she's just
wow.
that talented. You know what I mean? She can do that. She can hit you with the patois. She can, you know, she's dope. You know, we love having Milani on our team, and I've been working with her since she was like about 16, 17. You know what I mean? So there's a history there. You know, I mean, all of these artists that we have are very, very talented. And we're gonna just take it to that dimension that's different from what everybody else is doing right now. You know,
Yeah.
and even with Red and Loco, like Mr. Loco, he's out of Florida. His style's different. You know, check him out on YouTube. His video's called Gas. You know,
Okay.
and then you got, you know, like I said, El Dorado Red, new, you know, he's been rapping for a while, but we're gonna give him his chance because
Okay.
I heard him. You know, I heard what he does. So, you know, with us in two directions, forward and up, nothing else. No in between, no, you know, sideways. That's the only direction we're moving in.
Okay, okay. I love it. I love it. I hope to see some 8Ball Entertainment sneakers or some dress shoes like how Sonny used to wear with the
Yeah.
shiny shoes and have like the 8 ball going around it with the mic coming around it or
You,
something.
you know,
Oh,
me and Sonny were actually there was a movie script called Bumpy's Revenge. And
yes, yes.
Sonny was gonna play my nemesis in that movie, you know. So we gotta like recast that. That script that's a serious script. Like it's been written. Richard Gaines, thank you, bro. I don't know if he's watching this or not, but he actually is a writer. He's a movie actor. Um, so you know, we hit some people up from Hollywood, and I've been so busy. You know, he calls me, and I miss the calls, and I'm always in the studio, and I'm always doing this, that, and the third. He called me when I was at an arena football game last time, and it's like I gotta get up with him though because we don't want to let that project die out. You know,
Yeah.
it's a good script. It's really like action packed. It's crazy. The characters have depth. I'm the main character. You know, I play like a gangster that got out of the game, and because of the stupidity of my younger brother, I have to get back in to basically save his life. You know, type
Oh,
of situation. So it's a pretty deep story. The script's dope.
let
Um,
me any more actresses, I'll be glad to try out for you for
we got so many, you know, there's so many dimensions to it, and we started it off as a movie, but now we're looking like it might be a series. So you have to have the episodes in the can, and once again, we have the production equipment, everything goes right to AMG Sony for submission. See if we can get that picked up and distributed out in the different markets.
Yes, I love it. I love it. It's all
Mhm.
positive from Boston 617. That's what I'm talking about. If you artists are looking for a manager, right here, 8Ball Entertainment in Boston 617. That's what I'm talking about. We have a main outlet right here in front of your eyes.
Right here.
Artists, right here.
It's right here. So, you know, anybody, especially, you know, I really, really want to help our kids because I think about when I was a teenager, we had all the different, you know, venues and stuff we used to go to. It used to be cool because the thing I remember was when I was in the groups back in the day, we perform at, say, the Blackstone, you know, community center. We get on the train at Northampton and we see another group. Where y'all going? Oh, we got a show at the Lee School. So we go to the Lee School, watch them do their thing. So you had all these singers and entertainers vibing and hanging out. Oh, so and so got a show at so and so. So now you got 10 of us all going to support them. So there was like a real support type of system. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it was everybody was being creative. And any
Right.
competition, it was friendly competition. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So, like I said, with me, I'm just getting to the point where I'm going to do some things to bring back the essence of what Boston used to have. It's just
Yeah.
time to bring that culture back up. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm working on.
Salute to you, definitely. You know what they took away too from the schools, which I disagree. They took away, um, oh, when you got to go to try out to like what talent shows
Hmm.
for each school, they don't have that no more.
No,
Kids used to do break dance and they used to come, use a clarinet. They don't have none of that for these
no,
children in the
no.
school, and that's
Hmm.
sad, really sad.
Yeah, and if you do a talent show now, 8 million rappers are going to show up. So, so it's like when you hear a singer, it makes you go, okay, you know. Sometimes I'll be somewhere and somebody goes, you know, they'll see my chain or whatever, and they go, oh yeah, 8Ball Entertainment. I go, yeah. They go, oh yo, I can blow. And I'm like, go ahead, hit something. And sometimes they kill it, you know, or I'll say, hey, you know, you need to work on your pitch, you know, your voice control, your this, your that, you know, and it's like, oh, thank you, you know, they're grateful that you even gave them the feedback or the input, you know,
Right.
but it's like, for the most part, you know, like I said, there's a stigma just about the industry here in Boston. Everybody acts like everybody's a crook. Everybody's out to do something dirty. Even the ones who say that stuff do dirty though. Because I
Right.
can tell you now, there's been situations with me where my business manager, he's A&R at AMG Sony. You know what I mean? So it's like I will set up a meeting. We'll be at the meeting. I'll offer my distribution and everything. And they, oh, nah, you know, but then they try to hit him up. So
Oh,
that's that's not gonna work. You
right.
follow what I'm saying? So
Yep.
it's
Yep.
it's it's really number one about business, how you do business, how you conduct yourself with business. Because there's a lot of people that I will say that was really disappointing, but you just showed me your character and what you're really about by doing that. You know, so it's like, oh, you just thought it could go to the plug. Of the matter is, I'm the plug. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
Just
Definitely.
he's just
Oh.
administrating all that. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? So that's where it's like we just do what we got to do to get stuff done. You know, like I said, my manager's great. My management team is great. We just doing a whole lot of positive stuff. You know, and we're just gonna keep pushing and keep things positive. You know, because
Right.
that's the energy that we ride on. When I put positive messages up, I really mean that. That's the vibe I want to give. I'm being a
Yeah.
1000% sincere when I do that. So when I say certain things, people seem to get in their feelings. My attitude about that is, well, if the shoe fits, I'm just talking in general. What did you do to make you feel that way? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Oh, yes, I know. I be saying positive every day, good mornings. And some people do get in their feelings, and it's like, what do you get in your feelings? What did you do? Did you do something behind my back? That's how you're feeling, and it's sad, because we're trying to be positive, and
Right.
then that negative, but that's why that negative stays in that block, and we just keep on going on the path.
Yeah. And I'll be the first one to say when people throw negative shade at you, right? They're actually empowering you, and people don't understand that. And I tell everybody, well, you got to understand, for every negative, there's a positive. You see what I'm
Yep.
saying? That's just divine law. So if somebody's coming at you the wrong way for no reason, that's just empowering you. You know,
Right.
and it's like, well, what are they throwing shade at you for? You must be doing something correctly. You must be doing something correctly. You know,
Right.
it was funny, but there's a jewelry piece that I have. You know, and somebody said something about, oh, you know, he's up here doing out positive messages and wearing his fake jewelry. And I said, the whole point being is companies send me this stuff, you know, and they send me, that's an endorsement. They give it to me for free. So I will gladly support them and wear their stuff. It's not a problem for me because they
Yeah.
believe in me and what I'm doing. So it's
Right.
like that doesn't matter to me. But see, it's like, so that's what you had to say about me being positive. That's what you had to look for. So you
Right.
couldn't think of nothing negative. So that's where you went. And that's weak. So that just made me look rather strong. So I
Right.
put the piece on, held it up, and said, you know, thank you to such and such jewelers for sending me this piece. I really appreciate it. You know, I
Yeah.
will wear it proudly because you
Yes.
believe in me. That was empowering to me. You see what I'm saying? So doesn't matter what a hater says. Haters are gonna hate and players are gonna play. And we're at the
Yeah.
point now in this city, like I said, it's the season of realness. Now my thing is I'm wondering who's gonna get on the side of what's real and who's gonna get on the other side. Because
Yes.
I told a bunch of people, I'm sorry, but I cannot sit around and be fake with you. That's not where I'm at. I'm really doing this. You don't understand. Even when people call me and say, "Oh, well, we're doing this, that, and the third," and I'm like, "Well, we're all set. We don't need to do that." You know, I'm with AMG Sony. You know, and they get in their feelings. Even when I
Mhm.
say, "But good luck with that. Best wishes, God bless," they get in their feelings
Yeah.
because you know, I guess it's a thing where they're stuck where they are, and you're not there anymore. I know you ain't trying to act like, I'm not trying to act like anything, brother. I just told you good luck with what you're doing. I'm just doing this over here, and there's no space for that for me anymore. I've
Right.
evolved past that. You know,
Right.
there's certain places I won't go anymore because it doesn't make sense for my acts to do certain things because we opened at the Hard Rock. That was our show. You know what I mean? We did shows at big venues in New York. Those were our shows. So I don't want to have my artists feeling like, well, what do you got us doing this for? You know, you just elevate and you evolve past stuff. It's not to be stuck up or snooty, but
Right.
that's where you are. That's where your positioning is. You know, you
Right.
might see me there seeking out talent, but you won't
Right.
see me putting my artists in those situations.
Right.
If you follow me, because they've
Yeah.
worked hard and they've grown past it. So
Right.
you don't do that to people. That's a bad management move, you
Yep.
know.
Yep.
And then that
That's
people, I ain't not seeing them. I seen them performing at the Chicken Shack. Then so what? You know what I mean? They're past that. They're all signed to 8Ball AMG Sony. They have distribution. They have their label deal, and their music's getting distributed internationally and worldwide. That's real. That's what
and
we're
that's
doing.
what counts.
Hmm.
And
Yep.
that's what counts, to have it international, not just local, and you're succeeding in your business.
Right, right. Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, we're very fortunate and very blessed. It's definitely a family vibe. We're looking forward to getting in that bus and getting on the road. Can't wait to get to, man, I can't wait till we get to the Fillmore. The Fillmore's out in New Orleans, and
Oh,
and
wow.
we're definitely playing the Fillmore. You know what I mean? And we were told it's going to be packed. So we're looking forward to that. Cleveland, we're actually branching out. So that's going to be 8Ball, Ohio. So we're going to
Oh,
have a label presence out in Cleveland to give some of the talent out there to have an opportunity. You see what I'm saying? And then, like I said, my boy Loco, he's doing his thing. He got 100 the label. We're partnering up with 100 the label to really get some stuff going. You know,
okay.
and that's the whole hip hop piece. You know what I'm saying? In that southern. So that's gonna be kind of like 100 the label on 8Ball South. You know, because we're gonna give people a chance down south to kind of get with us and get some of this northern hospitality because we do have that here. You know
Yes,
what I
yes,
mean?
yes.
Yeah.
I love it. There's a manager, actually, she's on here from Ohio. She manages artists out in Ohio, and she lives out there, Kita. I know you're watching, so link with this man, because you have some great talent underneath you. She manages her son, but she's out in Ohio. But I think you two would set it off with some great talent together.
Yeah, I believe our Ohio date is June 25th. It
Okay,
is
Father.
June 25th. Yep. So, like I said, we'll be in the Winnebago tour bus, whatever, but we moving. We're gonna be out there. And that's the whole 8Ball family, or the family eight as I like to call it. We'll be out there.
I love it. I
Hmm.
love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So any artists that are looking to get signed with the manager, and you have everything organized, make sure you link with this gentleman. He is the CEO of 8Ball Entertainment from Boston 617. And look at, he's expanding out of Boston. And I always say that you have to branch off your branches. You're still always going to have your home Boston, but you always got to branch out, because like I said, you get more love sometimes out of where you're from, and it's real love.
Hmm.
So I salute to you, and I can't wait to see you. When I go to New York, I'm gonna see you guys right on the in Times Square on one of those bulletins. I would
Well,
love to see that.
we're actually doing Imaya's listening party at a pub out there in New York. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, we already got that set up. That's April. Oh man, I think it's April. I know it's like the second or third Friday in April. We'll be out in New York.
Okay. Are you gonna do posts, or
Yep,
are
yep.
you?
I'll be posting it.
Okay, let me
And
tag my page with all that, because I got a lot of connections in New York.
hmm.
My second home, so
Yeah.
I
Oh,
people that
definitely.
oh.
Oh, you if you ain't there, I'll be mad at you.
If I can get a ride, my car broke down, but if I
Okay.
can get a ride, I definitely I love to go. New York is my second home. Like I said, I
Hmm.
used to go back and forth back. Ask Donnie, well, oh man, Mr. Hazel, he knew. He'd be like, "Oh, Jack is in New York." I did 2 trips to New York in 1 day in 24 hours.
Yeah, so even if you want, we can set up the production. We're gonna have the production cameras and stuff. You can do an Iccy Show edition from there.
Oh yeah,
Hmm.
definitely. I'm up for it.
Yep,
And
we
if you
can make
ever
that
need
happen.
Yeah, and if you ever need an extra camera person, let me know. I'll be glad to be a photographer, video, well, everything. I'll be glad to do that for you.
Okay, smooth, smooth.
Yeah, I love that stuff.
Okay,
I push my way to the front. I don't care. I'm getting those artists on there.
right.
Hey, I'm phenomenal. Like Don Hazel used to love me because I used to take the pictures. He'd be like, "Jackie, you're always doing pictures on set
Hmm.
for minutes." I'm like, "You have to." The pictures, artists love to see their feedback, their reaction when they're on with the mic, and
Right. Hmm.
the crowd. It's an amazing feeling, and I
Yeah.
salute to you. I'm thankful to have met you and got to interview you, and you brought me to your house over there in where everything goes down, your entertainment, and it's all love out there. And the
Yeah.
artist,
Thank you.
don't sleep
Thank you.
on him.
Yeah, we appreciate you as well. Thanks for having me on. Really appreciate it. Because I wanted
You're
this
very
world to start getting out of the things that we're doing. You're actually the first one to get this information. We haven't told anybody about anything yet. So, you
thank
kind of breaking news in a way. You know what I
okay,
mean?
on the Iccy Show.
There you go. Yep. You got it first. It's because the thing with the soundtrack for that documentary, that's huge to us. That's really, really major because everybody's going to want to watch that. And that's going to
Yes,
be us doing the music for it. So that's just amazing to me, to get the message from my business manager. Yo, you did it. I was just like, wow, that's crazy, but
yes,
yeah, so amazing things happening over here. No shade, nothing but love from us, because that's what we're getting. So I'm
right.
happy. Yep.
Yes, always to be happy. Happy is the to go that makes you go the right way. And that's crazy because I used to manage Nicole's Simpson's I used to manage her boyfriend, the daughter's boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
I used to manage him in 2009.
Mm.
And he was dating Nicole, RIP her mom, but he was dating her at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And in the house was Nicole Simpson.
Yeah. So I mean, this
Oh
is like
world.
this is like the who done it and who did it. So
Mhm.
it's real.
Oh yeah.
It's very real. So that's gonna be dope when it comes out.
All right, cool, cool. So
Mhm.
give them all your information. Any shout outs you want to give, and let them know where they can find you.
Shout out to all my artists, of course. My business manager, Sydney, man, much appreciate you. Shout out to AMG Sony. This journey's been crazy. Let me see, who am I mean, there's so many people I could thank right now. You know what I mean? But I really love the direction we're going in, and I'm just grateful. God is good, the universe is delivering, that's the gateway, and we just got so many positives going on. It's just amazing. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna always remain positive and stay positive. So for anybody just trying to throw shade or say it ain't when it is, it is, and we don't really care about the shade. We need it because we shining so brightly over here anyway. So thank you. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. You know what I mean? So yeah. But I really appreciate you having me on, because I was like, oh yeah, I want to be on Jackie's show and let her know what we got going on, because it's a lot. And this is all
Yeah.
developments over the last 90 days.
Oh
It's been
wow.
in the works. It's been in the works. But see, everything came into fruition over the last 90 days. So,
Amazing.
hmm,
God, God is great. God makes things happen, and we need it for Boston. So salute
right.
to you. Salute to your team, and let them know your social media, your Facebook, your Instagram.
Facebook is Kevin Edwards. My Instagram is at Big 8 Ent. And
Okay.
then there's another one at 8Ball Entertainment. So,
Okay. Okay.
so that's basically where we at, man. And it's like I said, a lot of love, a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
And websites and everything will be launching real soon.
All right, cool. I'll be looking forward. Make sure you tag my page. Any shows, anything you got going on, so I can I'll share it out to the people I need to. And also, if you do anything in Boston for the community, let me know, because I'm trying to do something. I like to do it once a year. So
Hmm.
if there's anything you got going on, for lunches or something like that, let me know. I would love to, make some food or lunch bags or something to help out.
Okay, most definitely. Most definitely. All
All
right.
right, I appreciate you definitely. It's your girl G Girl. This is interview 453 interviews with 8Ball Entertainment from Boston 617. Make sure you link with him. He is the man. He is the plug for Boston. And if artists are in Boston, still link with him if you're looking for that deal. But make sure you have your paperwork. Make sure you have everything in order, and don't have someone else's beat if you're gonna go to him, because you're
Yeah,
gonna
don't.
just
It's
it's
not
not
gonna
going.
work. It's not gonna work.
Thank you. Have a great night. Stay
Hey,
healthy and stay in touch with me for that show,
oh,
please.
most definitely. Most definitely. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Have a blessed night, everyone. Stay healthy. Much love and respect. Thank you.